In recent years, political polarization in the United States has only intensified, and with it, a growing number of public figures are choosing not to remain silent. Among them is Brittany Aldean, wife of country music superstar Jason Aldean, who has increasingly used her social media platform to share her personal views on current events. Known for their outspoken conservative stances, both Brittany and Jason Aldean have never shied away from voicing support for former President Donald Trump or from expressing criticism of liberal leadership. In the wake of violent riots that unfolded in Los Angeles over the past weekend, Brittany Aldean has taken to Instagram to share her dismay and disapproval, further igniting debates over free speech, protest, and patriotism in modern America. The riots in Los Angeles. What happened? What began as organized protests against U.S. immigration and customs enforcement, ICE operations quickly devolved into widespread chaos across parts of Los Angeles. Demonstrators originally gathered to protest ICE raids targeting undocumented immigrants. However, as tensions rose and more people joined the crowd, the protests took a darker turn. Law enforcement clashed with demonstrators. Scenes emerged of fireworks exploding in the streets, bottles and rocks hurled at police officers, and significant property destruction. Perhaps the most jarring images came from incidents involving vandalism of public and private property. In one widely shared video, a group of rioters were seen attacking several Waymo self-driving vehicles. The footage shows individuals smashing windows with skateboards, slashing tires, spray painting graffiti, and eventually setting the cars on fire. These moments were captured and disseminated widely across social media platforms, further fueling debates about the legitimacy and effectiveness of such demonstrations. Brittany Aldean's reaction, not holding back. Amid the chaos, Brittany Aldean took to her Instagram stories to voice her reaction. Known for being vocal about her views, especially in support of law enforcement and conservative values, Brittany shared a series of clips showing the destruction taking place in Los Angeles. One particularly controversial video showed a protester waving a Mexican flag near a burning car. Brittany captioned the post, "This is a great way to convince America that they belong in America." The comment quickly sparked conversation and controversy. Supporters of Aldean applauded her for speaking what they believe is the uncomfortable truth, while critics accused her of xenophobia and insensitivity toward immigrant communities. Brittany continued by contrasting the ground-level reality with public statements made by elected officials. She posted a series of quotes from California Governor Gavin Newsom and other leaders who described the protests as mostly peaceful and under control. The contrast between the serene rhetoric and the violent imagery she shared was stark, and it's exactly the point Brittany seemed determined to drive home. A pattern of outspokenness. Brittany Aldean has long been known in conservative circles as an unapologetic voice. She and Jason Aldean have appeared publicly with Donald Trump, attended political events, and have frequently been seen golfing or socializing with him. Brittany, in particular, uses her Instagram platform to comment on everything from vaccine mandates to liberal media narratives. Her outspoken stance has earned her both devoted fans and harsh critics. In previous controversies, Brittany has made headlines for calling out what she perceives as government overreach and cultural hypocrisy. In 2022, she faced backlash for comments about gender identity and parenting that critics called transphobic, while supporters praised her as brave for resisting woke culture. This recent incident is no different. Brittany's posts reflect a deep frustration shared by many Americans who see riots and looting as unacceptable methods of protest, regardless of the underlying cause. To them, Brittany is saying what others are afraid to say out loud. Public reactions. A nation divided. As expected, the reaction to Brittany's statements was split along ideological lines. Supporters, many from conservative and right-leaning circles, praised her bravery and honesty. Comments flooded social media echoing sentiments like, "Finally someone speaking the truth. These aren't protests, they're riots, plain and simple. If more people were like Brittany Aldean, maybe our cities wouldn't be burning." Critics, however, saw her comments as inflammatory and lacking empathy. They questioned her motivations and accused her of using fear-mongering rhetoric. Some comments read, "Waving a flag doesn't make someone un-American. She's using this moment to stoke division, not heal it. Just another privileged voice pretending to understand the struggles of marginalized communities." The post about the Mexican flag in particular became a flashpoint. While some viewed it as a legitimate critique of how protest symbols might be perceived by the public, others saw it as racially charged and dismissive of the long-standing challenges faced by immigrant communities in the U.S. Media coverage and echo chambers. Brittany's statements received coverage across a wide array of media platforms, but predictably, the tone varied depending on the outlet. Conservative media outlets such as Fox News and the Daily Wire reported favorably on her comments, framing her as a patriotic American standing against lawlessness and liberal hypocrisy. They pointed out that the destruction on the streets was real and accused Democratic leaders of downplaying the violence for political reasons. Liberal and mainstream outlets, meanwhile, were more critical. Outlets like MSNBC, Huffington Post, and Rolling Stone focused on her controversial language and accused her of perpetuating dangerous stereotypes. Some commentators speculated that her posts could inspire more divisiveness at a time when unity and understanding are needed most. This divide in media portrayal is nothing new, but it underscores the growing influence of celebrity voices in shaping political and cultural debates. In many ways, Brittany Aldean is not just speaking for herself. She's representing a broader swath of America that feels unheard by mainstream institutions. The Trump connection, a shared vision. Brittany and Jason Aldean's alignment with Donald Trump has been a consistent feature of their public persona. Trump, known for his hardline stance on immigration and law and order, has consistently criticized Democratic leadership in cities like Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago, accusing them of allowing crime and chaos to thrive under the guise of civil rights protests. In response to the LA riots, Trump described the protesters as paid insurrectionists and animals, suggesting that many were boozed in or otherwise coordinated to destabilize the area. He praised the deployment of the National Guard and U.S. Marines to restore order, a move that many Democrats viewed as excessive but that Trump supporters saw as necessary and overdue. Brittany Aldean's social media posts echoed this worldview. Her emphasis on lawlessness, failed leadership, and national identity perfectly aligned with the Trump-era rhetoric that continues to resonate with millions of Americans. The bigger picture, protests versus riots. The events in Los Angeles and Brittany Aldean's response to them raise fundamental questions about how society distinguishes between peaceful protest and violent riot. While the First Amendment protects the right to assemble and speak freely, it does not condone violence, property destruction, or endangerment of public safety. At the heart of this conversation is a disagreement about cause and method. Many activists argue that systemic injustices require forceful and visible resistance, especially when peaceful protests are ignored or mischaracterized. Others argue that resorting to violence only delegitimizes the cause and alienates potential allies. Brittany Aldean clearly belongs to the latter camp. Her criticism is not just about the method of protest, but also about its perceived consequences on national unity and public trust. Where do we go from here? The reaction to Brittany Aldean's comments is a microcosm of a larger national struggle. How to have meaningful conversations about justice, race, immigration, and law enforcement in an age of social media and cultural fragmentation. For some, Brittany is a courageous voice standing up against a media narrative they view as dishonest or one-sided. For others, she is a symbol of privilege and a reminder of how far the country still has to go in terms of empathy and understanding. What's clear is that the power of celebrity voices, especially those like the Aldeans with massive followings, is greater than ever. Whether we agree or disagree with them, their words have the ability to shape public opinion, inspire action, or stoke controversy. And as protests, riots, and political clashes continue to erupt across the country, voices like Brittany Aldean's will only grow more influential. Conclusion: speaking out, paying the price. Brittany Aldean's comments on the LA riots were unfiltered and unapologetic, characteristics that have come to define her public persona. In a time where silence can be seen as complicity and speaking out can come with heavy backlash, Brittany has made her choice. She's taking a stand, knowing full well that it will spark heated responses. Whether one views her as brave or divisive, her voice is now firmly part of the national conversation. And that conversation, about protests, patriotism, violence, and values, is far from over.